Hello students. Now today we are going to study chapter 4 of Geography class 7 Air. So as we know that air is very important for all of us. We survive due to air. We breathe in oxygen and exhale carbon dioxide, and plants do the same, but they take carbon dioxide and exhale oxygen on which we live. So this balance makes our life possible on earth. So let's study about air. Atmosphere. So atmosphere, as we know, is a huge blanket of air that surrounds the earth. This atmosphere is very important for all of us because it protects us from the harmful effect of sun rays. As we know, sun rays contain ultraviolet rays which are really harmful for our skin, as well as it also provides us oxygen to breathe. Without this, we would ever be baked alive by the heat of the sun during day or frozen at night. Because the carbon dioxide that is present on Earth makes life possible by containing the heat of the sun rays. So it is this mass that made the Earth livable for us. We can survive due to this atmosphere. Composition of the atmosphere. As we know, our Earth is surrounded by air, that means layers of airs, and in this atmosphere there is a percentage of different gases. Like we have 78% of nitrogen, 21% of oxygen, 0.03% of carbon dioxide, and other gases like argon, krypton, hydrogen, chlorine, etc. Now all gases have their use, like oxygen is used for breathing, carbon dioxide is helpful in keeping earth warm. Similarly, nitrogen is used as preservatives. So all kind of airs have their own uses. Along with that, we have carbon dioxide, which is having a great use. It is used by the plants. Without that, plants will not survive. They intake carbon dioxide and provide us oxygen. Composition of air, as we discussed, nitrogen and oxygen are two main gases. Carbon dioxide, helium, ozone, argon, hydrogen, and dust particles are found in lesser quantity. Nitrogen is in abundance, then plants need nitrogen for their survival, but they can't really take it directly. So rhizobium, as I told you, the plants also use this nitrogen for making food. So rhizobium is a kind of bacteria which is present in the roots of the generally leguminous plants, and they take nitrogen from the air and change its form so that plants can use it. Now oxygen is important for human and animal. Both of us, we intake oxygen and release carbon dioxide. Green plants release it during photosynthesis, carbon dioxide. Now ये सब तो हो चुका है. We have a structure of the earth. As we know, our earth is divided into different layers, and these layers are known as structure of the atmosphere. Each layer have its own name. Like in this layers of the earth, we have total 5 layers, and all have their own importance. Like to the layer which is closest to the earth is troposphere. It is up to 13 kilometers from sea level, and all kind of weather phenomena happen in this troposphere. Then after, there is a stratosphere. Stratosphere is the second layer of the atmosphere, and it extends from 13 kilometer to 50 kilometer. The importance of this layer is that it is helpful in flying of aeroplane because any kind of weather phenomena is going on and no disturbance is there in this layer of the earth. That's why it is an ideal for flying aeroplane. It is free from clouds. Ozone layer is present here, which protect us from ultraviolet rays of the earth. The third is mesosphere. Mesosphere, generally in this sphere, meteorites when enter from space to our earth atmosphere, it burns in mesosphere, which extend from 50 kilometers to 80 kilometers. Thermosphere means it's a hot air, a hot layer of atmosphere, and it extends from 80 to 400 kilometers. Ionosphere is the part of this thermosphere, and it helps in radio waves transmission. Last one is exosphere. Exosphere is the outermost layer of the atmosphere, and it is above 400 kilometers. And here you find very thin layer of air, and only the light gases like helium and hydrogen can be found. Other air is present in a nominal quantity. Now, weather and climate. As we know, weather is hour to hour, day to day condition in the atmosphere. Like for a present time, it's a sunny day. Then after some time, it becomes cloudy. So this is the weather. It is the hour to hour or day to day change in condition of atmosphere. Whereas the average weather condition of a place for a longer period of time represent the climate of a place, and generally the climate of a place exists there for a long years. Example, a hot and a humid day is just a weather, but if we talk about the climate of Gujarat, or if we talk about the climate of Himalayas climate is cold, Gujarat climate is moderate climate. So we can say that we have two different factors which affects the atmosphere of a place, of a particular place. Okay, temperature. The degree of hotness and coldness of air is known as temperature, which is very simple. The temperature of an atmosphere changes not only between day and night, like in the daytime there is hot due to sun, and at night it is cold because sun is not there, but also from seasons. Like in summer season we feel hot, and in winter season we feel cold. The important factor that influences the distribution of temperature is insolation. Insolation is the incoming solar energy intercepted by the earth. The earth receives the particular amount of solar energy, sun rays, which is known as insolation. Now, the amount of insolation decreases from the equator towards the pole. Therefore, the temperature decreases in the same way. Like when we see at the equator, it is hot because that particular point on equator, Earth receives the highest number of sun rays. That's why the temperature at equator is higher than the poles. Temperature in cities is much higher than that of villages. The reason is very simple, because in cities there are concrete houses which are made up of metals, and the roads are made up of asphalt, get heated up during the day. This heat is released during the night. As that's why it is hot. The urban areas are generally hot, and the village areas or rural areas are cold. Also, the crowded high-rise buildings of the cities trap the warm air and thus raises the temperature of the cities. Air pressure. Air pressure is defined as the pressure exerted by the weight of air on the Earth's surface. It is the air that presses from all direction, and our body exerts a counter pressure. Our body exerts a counter pressure. That's why we are able to survive. If there will be no pressure from inside, then outer pressure will have kill us. As we go up to the layers of atmosphere, the pressure falls rapidly because most of the air are concentrated at the Earth's surface. The air pressure is high at sea level and decrease with height. Horizontally, it is influenced by the temperature of a given place. Where there is low temperature, the pressure is higher, and where there is high temperature, pressure is lower. While areas having lower temperature, the area is cold and hence the air is heavy. Heavy air sinks and creates a high pressure area. That's why at the pole it is high pressure. It is associated with clear and sunny sky. The air always moves from high pressure to low pressure areas. Now wind. Movement of air from low pressure area to high pressure area is called wind. Some wind blows gently, such as breeze, while some blow strongly, such as storm. So there are different kinds of winds. It can be characterized as wind as permanent, seasonal, and local. Permanent winds are also known as planetary winds because these winds move due to the rotation of the earth. How it blows? Blows constantly. Permanent winds, as the name says, permanent. It blows permanently throughout the year in a particular direction. Examples are trade wind, westerlies, and easterlies. Now seasonal wind. It changes their direction in different season, like monsoon winds. Local winds. Local winds are very common. One very great example of local wind is Loo, which generally blow in summer season. Now, some permanent winds are depicted here. As you can see here, polar easterlies. And at the south also there is polar easterlies, prevailing westerlies, similarly and in the north. And the last one is northeast trade wind and southeast trade wind. The best thing about these permanent winds, they blow in a permanent direction, particular direction throughout the year. Cyclones are very common. In this cyclone, these cyclones are natural disasters. And Odisha, one of the state of India which is located on east sea coast of India, is generally prone to cyclone. It was hit by a major cyclone on 17th and 18th October 1999, hit 5 districts of the state. Another on 29th October, it was a super cyclone and it devastated a large portion of the state. The three main factors that were caused: wind velocity, rain and tidal surge. All three altogether made this cyclone a super cyclone, and the speed of wind was 260 kilometers per hour and it lasted for 36 hours. High wind velocity uprooted trees and damaged the kacha houses, power supply and telecom lines snapped completely. So this was the devastation spread due to the cyclone. When water evaporates from different water bodies, it comes water vapor. Moisture in the air is known as humidity. As the air gets warmer, its capacity to hold water increases and it becomes more and more humid. So the clothes takes longer to dry and sweat from our body doesn't evaporate easily. Because the reason is simple, the amount of water in atmosphere is high. That's why it takes longer. When water vapor rises, it starts cooling. As we know, hot air rises up. So water vapor also rises up with the air. And as it goes up, at high altitude, the temperature becomes low. And the water vapor start condensing. It combines with the dust particle and ultimately it forms the cloud. When the clouds become heavy, they are not able to hold the water, then the water comes down in the form of rain. It is known as precipitation. Precipitation that comes down, that water comes down in liquid state known as rain. Now, uses of rainwater. So rainwater have lots of uses. Like most of the groundwater comes from rainwater. Plants helps in its preservation, very important for the survival of plant animals, brings fresh water on earth. If rainfall is less, water scarcity and drought occur. On the other hand, it is more, flood takes place. The third very important use of rainwater is it is used as irrigational facility. Now, there are three different types of rainfall. One is convectional, in which the water vapor rises horizontally and directly forms the cloud and water falls down when the clouds become heavy. This is known as convectional rainfall. Then the next is relief or orographic rainfall. In this type of rainfall, it happens due to some mountainous like landform. The water that evaporates from the sea, it reaches to the mountain, and because the clouds are heavy, the clouds are not able to pass the mountainous landform. That's why the rain occur on one side of the mountain and the clouds become lighter, and then it easily passes. The third type of rain is cyclonic rainfall. This type of rainfall generally occur when there is cyclone. I hope you understood this chapter. Thank you. Signing out, Aman Sharma.